Welcome back to Power Recapped. At the beginning of the film, we see a woman whose name was Ellen. She was playing by the sea with a little girl. After which we are shown the second scene. Some soldiers were shooting at someone. Then Ellen's eyes open at one place. And whatever she saw by the sea, it was just a dream of hers. She was kept locked in a room. She did not remember anything about where she came from nor about her life. All of a sudden, she hears a sound from the speaker in the room that you have to move the pencil in front of you from its place before the time is up. And as soon as the time starts, the whole room turns red and the timer starts on the screen in front of her. Ellen somehow takes herself to the table and drops the pencil on it. After which everything becomes normal. Everything was fine. Ellen asks the robot, "Where am I?" Then a buzzer sounds and Ellen becomes unconscious. Then she has a dream in which she sees sand by the sea. After seeing all this, she regains consciousness. But this time her hands and feet were tied and she is given the same task again, that she has to move the pencil. She hears a voice that if you don't do this, we will kill your daughter. The time starts again. The red light turns on again. But now Ellen remembered that the girl playing by the sea is her daughter. She asks, "Where is my daughter?" But that voice does not give her any answer. Ellen had to complete that task. That's why she breaks the handcuffs of her hands with her shoes. She throws her shoes on the pencil, with which the pencil fell down. And then everything is fine again. Ellen was again unconscious. She again has a dream. But this time she was seeing everything right. Her daughter was singing. She also tells Ellen to sing with her. When she sings with her, she falls asleep singing. After which her eyes were opened in this room where everything was happening strange with her. But this time her hands and feet were open. She was looking for the door in this room. But there was neither a window nor a door here. Food was also kept on the table, which was quite strange. Ellen eats that food. When she sees her reflection in the plate, she finds all this very strange. She asks with that voice, "What have you done to me? And why have you kept me here?" But she does not get any answer. Ellen starts crying, and then she falls asleep crying. She again has the same dream of the seaside. But she wakes up soon. She again hears the same voice. And she is told that you have to move the pencil again. If this time you do not move the pencil, then we will kill your daughter. On which Ellen shouts and says, "If you really have my daughter, then give me proof of this. I want to hear her voice." Then they make her hear her daughter's voice. After which the timer starts. But this time there was a glass wall in front of Ellen. She tries a lot to break this wall. But she cannot break it. Now she was getting angry. She shouts in anger and tells the pencil to move. The pencil also fell down by itself. After which she falls unconscious again. And again she sees her daughter in her dream. With whom she was sitting, she was making a house of sand. But this time she had a head injury. And she hears a man's voice from behind. Who was calling her name? When Ellen comes to her senses again, her eyes open in the same room. This time she was tied on a chair. And there was a man in front of her. Ellen had the same injury on her head. As she was in her dream. That man comes to Ellen. But she was thinking that maybe this man is the kidnapper. Who has imprisoned her here. She pushes him. But that man says that I am your husband. My name is Roger. Then Ellen remembers everything. She says to her husband, "Whoever has imprisoned us here, they have our daughter. If we do not do their work, if we do not listen to them, they will kill us." But then suddenly the voice of that robot comes. Who was telling them to move the pencil again. This time Roger picks up the pencil. But the voice does not come. Only Ellen will do this work. How would Ellen do it now? She was tied up. Roger asks, "How are you going to do it?" Ellen says, "I have done this work many times. These people are making me do the same work again and again. But in different ways." While talking, they start arguing again. Then Ellen shouts very loudly. And the pencil is cut into two pieces. Roger was very surprised to see this. And Ellen herself was also bleeding from her ears. She used to faint after completing the task every time. This time it happens the same with her. She sees her husband Roger in her dreams this time. Who was looking at him angrily. After which her eyes open again. This time food was kept for her and Roger in the room. Roger says to her, "I think Ellen, you have some special power. Do you remember when you used to get angry with him? When you used to fight, the things in the house used to break when you scream. There is definitely something special inside you." After which Roger gives her water to drink. And then she lies on the floor. Roger asks her, "Do you remember anything?" But she doesn't say anything. When he brings food for her, Ellen shouts at him. Food falls from her hand far away. Roger was also very surprised. That's why her eyes open again, and she sees in a dream, in which her daughter was telling her, "Where do you go again and again?" She tells her daughter, "I will not go anywhere now. I will stay with you." But this time her daughter disappears. She calls her, but she doesn't find her anywhere. As soon as she regains consciousness, this time she was tied to a chair in the room, which was attached to the ground. This is where Roger sees the wound on Ellen's head. Seeing this, he finds out that there is something on her head. That's when she hears a voice. This time she is given a new task, in which she had to put the ball on the table in the bucket. But the table was also attached to the ground. Roger says, "Look, you have the power. Use it, and you can separate the table from the ground." Ellen pays full attention. She separates the table from the ground. Roger brings the table towards her, and that's when she puts the ball in the bucket. But this time after doing this task, she is not unconscious. She remembered that they had gone to the seaside to celebrate their daughter's birthday. These two were completing one task after another here, which was more difficult than before. Like one of their tasks was that they had to make a sand fort. And after doing such difficult work, blood was also coming out of Ellen's ears. Many days had passed in the same way. Both of them were surviving by eating strange food. One day Ellen is given a task that she joins all the parts of the gun one by one. But Ellen is not able to do it properly. Because of this, Roger gets angry at her. Ellen was also getting angry at him. And now in anger, she joins that gun. And unconsciously, she shoots at Roger, but that bullet stopped in the air before it hit. Then everything is fine, and Ellen also goes back to her dream again, where now her daughter had made a sand fort. But Roger came and ruined it. He says, "I made a mistake." Then Ellen wakes up. Now she was again in the same room where she sits and eats with Roger. Ellen tells Roger that, "I don't remember anything about my old life." On which he says, "You were a teacher and I was a singer. But after the birth of our daughter, I left all this." He starts smiling, remembering the beautiful memories of his life, and also apologizes to each other for the fight. In the same way, Ellen fell asleep while talking. This time she sees in a dream that she gets Roger's ring in her daughter's shoe from the sand. And here her eyes open. This time in front of her, Roger was standing behind a glass wall. Sand was falling inside him. But Ellen could not do anything. She was not able to concentrate. Here she was also thinking about her past memories. That's why she could not complete this task. And as soon as she sees, Roger gets buried in the sand. After which she hears, "You did not complete your task." Ellen was very angry. And in anger, she breaks the speaker with a loud voice, from which the voice was coming. Then a door opens there, from which 3 soldiers come. But Ellen kills them with her powers. Then she comes out of here. She sees that she had completed 298 tasks. That's why many more soldiers come there. But this time Ellen had learned to use her powers correctly. She kills them all. When she comes out, she sees 3 doors. And there she meets Roger. When she goes to him, he tells her, "Everything is like me." When Ellen opens that door, the same face as Roger comes out of it. Then more soldiers came there. They were all of the same face. Ellen kills them too. And then she goes to a room where she heard the sound of a robot. "Your daughter is dead." Hearing this, Ellen gets out of her control and screams loudly. Those people who had imprisoned her turn off the device that erased her memories. It means that the wound behind her head was actually a device that was fitted in her mind. Here Ellen remembers everything. It was her daughter's birthday. They all went to the seaside together. But in the meantime, Roger had a fight with her. And in anger, Roger raised his hand on her, because of which she screamed in anger. Roger and his daughter died. She was the reason for the death of her family. Actually, Ellen had special powers. That voice also tells her that all the tasks you did were all a test of your powers. There is a door in front of you where you will forget everything after leaving. But Ellen says, "No, I want to live in the memories of my husband and daughter. I will do all these tasks again." Then Ellen has the same dreams. And again her eyes open in the same room. But she didn't remember anything before. She is given the task of shaking the pencil again. At the end of the movie, we are told why Ellen was here and whose voice it was. This place was a secret organization. They found out when Ellen killed her family with her powers. After that, they brought her here so that she could stay here and control her powers. So that there is no loss in the rest of her life. So that the people around her do not have any trouble. With this, the film ends. Thank you for watching.